guys, so today I was actually talking with a friend of mine and trying to figure out why her daughter has recurring acne issues. And I was just brainstorming all the things, and there's so many sneaky things. So today I've got, I think, 7 sneaky causes of acne that you might not be aware of that only I know of. Just kidding. But anyway. So these are some things that if you're suffering from acne, these are things that you might not even have thought of. And the first one, interestingly, is shampoo, conditioner, hair care products, especially conditioners, which aren't really meant to be fully rinsed off. They kind of encase the hair in it. You rinse most of it out, but a lot of it still stays in the hair, coating it. And some brands are really prone, especially the more popular brand is, the more you hear about it. Like Olaplex, I've heard about a lot. And it's probably just because it's so common and people start to think about that. But I had one brand that I really was flustered with because I actually really liked it. The brand is called Oblifica, and I loved their hair care products. They smelled so good. They made my hair feel so nice. But anytime I used them within a day or two, my skin would freak out and then stopped using it. And surprise, everything got better. So that was my first real foray into it. Like, wow, this is really affecting it, especially if you use it. I mean, it leaves a residue, and then if you lay your hair down on your pillowcase or your sheets at night with any hair care products on, that's another kind of trigger. And all of these might be different. Some of these might be true for one person, and for the next person, it's totally different. So do what makes sense to you. Do some digging, do some research, but these are just my thoughts. So hair care products are going to be, just because I noticed it so dramatically. And I love this stuff, and it smelled so good. And yeah, it was such a bummer, such a disappointment. And I left it sitting. You can tell it's been sitting in my shower for like 4 years now. And I guess I should just get rid of it now. But anyway. So that leads me to my next point. Sheets, pillowcases are huge. Change your pillowcases often. A lot of people do once a week. If you suffer from acne, try doing it every night. Just try buying a couple containers of them, washing them all, and changing them every night, because that could be a huge thing, especially if you lay your hair down and you have any hair care products or conditioner residue in there. That could get on the pillowcase. Or if you lay on a side, bacteria can get on them. So change them frequently, once a week. For some people it might be good, but for others it might be every other day or every day. And I think it also depends on if you're a nighttime shower or a daytime shower. If you shower in the morning, you're going to bed with oil and things in your hair, which makes your pillowcase more prone to be dirty. So that's a huge thing. Another thing can be, for some people, toothbrush or toothpaste can be a big one, especially around the jaw area, which also can be hormonal. But toothpaste can be very irritating for that and for there's other issues around the corners of your mouth where you get irritation. And mint in toothpaste is a common one, because mint oil is very irritating to the skin. So peppermint oil, things like that, very irritating to the skin. So toothpaste is something to consider if that's right around your mouth area. So, or if you have allergies around your mouth, that's another thing. Another big thing, which gets talked about a little bit, but kind of gets pushed down, is food, stomach connection. Sometimes what you eat, for some people, may cause acne. Not for everybody. Some people might be able to eat a whole thing of sugar and be fine. I'm kind of like that because I eat a lot of sugar, but I shouldn't. But for some people, there's research into certain high glycemic foods may make acne worse. These foods are often highly processed and cause blood sugar levels to rise quickly. High glycemic foods include white bread, white rice, white pasta, bagels, baked goods, pastries, soda, sports drinks, chips, pretzels, anything that tastes good, basically. Cereal. And then when blood sugars spike, the body produces more insulin, and more insulin, like growth factor, increased insulin, increases the production of sebum. In some research has shown this, increased levels of androgen, which are natural steroid hormones, can also increase the production and secretion of oil. And oil, when it overwhelms the pores, can result in acne. So this one gets debated a lot. And I think for some people, not going to be an issue. Just like with certain acnegenic ingredients, for some people, certain fatty alcohols, just fine, no issues. And then for others, it can be just terrible for them. So it's just very individual. But for some people, the food-stomach connection is real. There's a dermatologist I listen to on Sirius XM Dr. Radio. I can tell I'm old now when I listen to Dr. Radio and talk radio for that matter. Called Dr. Doris Day. She's an amazing dermatologist. The other day, check her on if you have Sirius or whatever, Sirius XM. Check her out on Dr. Radio. But Dr. Doris Day, she did a little blip about some of these additives that they're adding into foods. One of them is called Apeel, Apeel, and she, with her knowledge, is not going to eat anything treated with that. And the thing with Apeel, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I've been doing a little bit of research on it. I'm not excited about it, but this Apeel makes fruit and vegetables last longer. So they spray it on your products, and it's made with trans fatty acids, and it coats the product so an avocado can last on the shelves 3 to 6 months longer when it's treated with this. And this Dr. Doris Day did a little bit of reading on it, is not very excited about how that may affect your skin and your health in general. Trans fatty acids aren't very good for you in general. So this Apeel is, do some reading on it. I checked around, and there's certain stores that use it. Target uses it on certain products. I think limes and things like that. And emailed Walmart, and they didn't know. I emailed a couple of my local stores, and they don't use it and don't want to use it or use any products treated with it, but it coats things. And apparently vegetables and fruits, when they are, after they're picked, within like 3 days to 7 days, almost all the nutritional value is wiped out. So if it's sitting on the shelf for 3 to 4 months, how much actual nutrition is in there? So Apeel, Apeel, do some digging on it, but I don't seem to be super excited about it. I know it will help the grocery store's profits hugely if they can let an avocado sit on the shelf for 4 months. Their profits are going to go way up, but the price of avocados don't seem to go down at some of the stores that use it. So, like especially in Minnesota, Target uses it, Cub Foods uses it, and then it's debatable like if Whole Foods uses it. I emailed Whole Foods and they didn't respond. So I emailed a couple other local stores, Kowalski's, they don't use it. So Byerly's and Lund's, they use it. So I guess it all depends on where you live, because most of you probably never heard of any of those stores. But it's something to do some digging about, because there is a somewhat of a stomach-mind connection. So leave your thoughts below about it. Anyway, I'm not taking a stand either way. You do you. I mean, if you're fine with it. I just, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Next up, skincare tools, brushes, sponges, things like that. They need to be washed frequently. I am guilty of not washing them as frequently as I should, but things like brushes or sponges. Actually, I was showering the other day and I got a konjac sponge. I like to use these in the shower to rinse off or just take off my mask. Sometimes I'll put like a little hydrating mask on and rinse off in the shower. And I looked at it. I was going to use it last night, and I looked at it, and this looks like mold or mildew on it. And I only had this in there for like 2 weeks, I guess. And a konjac sponge, you're supposed to hang up and let it dry, which is what I was doing. But this one apparently had some bad bacteria on it, which could affect your skin in all different kinds of ways. Not maybe just acne, but other issues. And that's definitely some type of mold or mildew growing on it, which is sad after only 3 months. Or 3 weeks. 3 weeks of having it. Anyway, so this is the Sephora brand collection. I've had better luck with other sponges, but then again, I think about the other sponges I was using, and they were darker, so maybe they had mildew on it, I didn't even know. And then things like sponges you use every day, these should be cleaned as often as you can. If you suffer from acne, try and do it once or twice a week if you can. The more often, the better. With beauty blenders or sponges, what I use is I just use, there's a face cleanser I bought that I didn't like, which happens a lot because I'm very picky about cleansers. That's what I use to clean my sponges and brushes with for the most part. And beauty blenders are the same, or you can use an oil-based cleanser. I will say this was one I got from a friend in Australia, and this sponge was amazing. It was great. And I thought, well, I should retire. It's kind of old. I've been using it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 months now. And And I got a Beauty Blender sponge online when it was on sale the other day. And that thing is just, compared to this one, it's terrible. I just thought Beauty Blenders were like the best sponge, but that one just, all it does is soak up product. I had much better luck with this one. I don't know. But anyway, sponges, things like that, something to consider, especially if it's going to be sitting in your bathroom where it gets humid and hot. Bacteria grows there, and bacteria is not good for your skin when it comes to acne. Although our microbiome is bacteria and all that stuff. So, okay, a couple other things that aren't as sneaky, but they're still sneaky, things you don't think of. Hormones. They're kind of sneaky because you don't necessarily realize it, but that's why teenagers get breakouts more often. So hormones, and sometimes you can't do anything about them, but see a dermatologist because there are things they can do to help with that. Genetics is another big one, especially a lot of your skin and things are just related to genetics and who you're born to. So some get lucky and some don't when it comes to genetics all the way around. And then last but not least is stress. And that's something really sometimes you can't control very much. You don't even realize you're getting stressed out. But when you get stressed out, when we're stressed, our bodies release corticotrophin releasing hormone, which releases the inflammatory cytokines and promotion of oil sources. Excess oil can cause pores and lead to breakouts. So stress is, you just got to get more rest, drink water, exercise. That's the only thing you can really do about stress because everyone has it, good and bad stress. So that's another sneaky one that you don't even realize is happening. But when you get stressed out, everything else is affected and everything is tied together somehow through our bodies. So it just depends. And some people get really lucky and don't ever have to deal with it. And some people don't. And I guess there's other obvious things. Dehydration, so drink lots of water. Cleansing your face at the end of the day is key, absolute key, especially if you use any makeup or sunscreen. Wash your face at the end of the day. If you're going to be lazy about it, get some fragrance-free cleansing wipes. That's better than nothing. So, especially if you use makeup or sunscreen, because if you're sleeping all night with that on your skin, it's just slowly getting in there and irritating the pores and things like that. So, anyway, interested from you guys if you have any other thoughts on the food stuff. I'll have to do a video on that because it's really interesting to me, all that stuff. Because all these additives and new allergies. And, when I grew up, I don't remember any kid ever being allergic to peanuts. And now it's very common. So I think there's a lot of stuff going on in our food system. And especially if this appeal can be used on organic things, you can't just go and buy organic and think you're okay. So, leave your thoughts below. I'm really interested in hearing them. And I will see you guys more tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.